Al Smith ran for president in 1928. And one of the main reasons he lost was he was Roman Catholic. And in 1928, it just wasn't possible for a Roman Catholic to win. Now, to win the presidency. He had been governor of New York, so he could attain a high office. But there was widespread prejudice among Protestants in the United States against Roman Catholics. There was even a lot of people who thought that if Al Smith became president, he would somehow use the presidency to make Roman Catholicism the official religion of America, that he would make a tunnel to the Vatican and enslave everybody to the Pope. You know, all these sorts of kind of very wild stories were going around. Okay, now 32 years later, John Fitzgerald Kennedy runs for president. There is still that question: can a Roman Catholic win the presidency in a majority Protestant country? But again, 32 years of 3 decades, 2 years more than 3 decades have passed. There's more Roman Catholics. There's less prejudice against Roman Catholics. There's still some. And there was still a question of, could JFK become president despite the prejudice against Roman Catholics? And of course, he did become president. He was voted in. But there was that question. But 3 decades makes a lot of difference. Attitudes change. Prejudices fade away. Prejudices, they don't fade completely away. I shouldn't say that, but they fade in decades. And they had faded enough that JFK could become president. However, there's a question there, though. If you're a Roman Catholic, if you're a devout Roman Catholic, how do you feel about somebody like JFK? He proved that a Roman Catholic could become president. So I guess you owe him a debt of gratitude. But he also wasn't a very good Catholic. I mean, we know about his promiscuity. Now, of course, I do know that all Christians believe that we're all sinners. All Catholics believe we're all sinners. But did he even make an effort to follow the precepts of his church? He didn't. He didn't even make an effort to really follow the tenets of his church. His compulsive promiscuity was completely against the tenets of his church. Okay, now, also as far as politics, Ted Kennedy had a kind of a problem because in his political career, in order for him to maintain his office as a Democrat, he had to support the legality of abortion. Well, he didn't have much choice. I have to wonder, he said he personally opposed abortion, but I really wonder, even if at a personal level, did he or JFK you know, on a personal level, would they have actually tried to get their girlfriends not to have abortions? I don't know. There's a question mark there. You know, they could have. They had the money to bribe them, but I don't know. At any rate, those are some of my thoughts. There's a lot of confusion there, kind of paradoxes there. You know, our first Roman Catholic president, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, was not a very good Catholic in a lot of ways.